The available AKG 36-speaker sound system in the Cadillac Escalade provides 360-degree sound, so you hear studio sound on the road. The 2021 Cadillac Escalade. Never stop arriving.
The Cricket Badger Podcast IPL Daily, in association with Moonrise Cricket. Indian Premier League 2020 13th edition. Every day, every game, every spill, every thrill, every triumph. All the way to the IPL trophy.
It's the Cricket Badger. Hello, IPL Daily. Let's get into it. There is so much to talk about. We had a fantastic Saturday, but flipping heck, Sunday has trumped it. We've seen two super overs. KKR against the Sunrisers Hyderabad went into a shootout. And then we have just watched the most ridiculous game between the Mumbai Indians and the Kings 11 Punjab, which went into two super overs because they couldn't even separate them after the first one. It's been a crazy, crazy day. I said yesterday, anybody that doesn't like T20, I'll point you at Saturday. Well, tell you what, I'll give you the box set. I'll give you Saturday and Sunday. This IPL is just incredible. And to talk about today and then maybe a little bit about tomorrow, I'm joined by Clare Sanderson, Shah and Abhishek Bohare. Naman, let's start with you. You're a sensible person. I know you are. That was bonkers, wasn't it?
Absolutely speechless. In fact, the whole weekend was like that. Yesterday's two matches finished in the last ball, and today both the matches going to the super over. And in fact, the last match again going to the super over. It was like never ending. I thought it will be Monday morning over here.
But it could actually technically just carry on forever, couldn't it? If they just keep tying, it just could carry on forever. But we've never had two super overs in the same day, and then like London buses or whatever the analogy is, they come along together, and then we get three super overs in the same day. Abhishek, how are your nerves? How did you enjoy today?
I think it was an absolutely great day for cricket. I think it cannot be more close than what we observed today. It was an incredible game, especially when I talk about the last game. It was about a table topper MI against a team which is repeatedly struggling in the tournament, failing to finish the game. It's not like they are playing bad, but it's like they went 2-2 with them, and the total inability of them to finish up the games. They had three chances today, and in the end they prevailed. It shows how open this competition is, and like Naman said, it's really bonkers, and nobody expected this to happen. But it's the IPL that allows us to live those moments every day.
And Claire, I know you are our KXIP fan, but you're also a little bit of a Mumbai Indians fan. Where were your loyalties towards the end of that game?
Oh, there were only in one camp, I'm afraid. Yeah, much as I love Rohit and co, I've got my red T-shirt on, and I was with Kings 11 all the way. Having said that, once it went to a super over, I just thought, Bumrah's got every trick in the book. It's all over here. And as you guys will know, I was in the kitchen trying to keep myself busy because I just couldn't cope. Wow, yeah, fantastic. So pleased for my team to have got that win. This was a game that they wouldn't win. Blown away. I
know on the TV they asked Mayank Agarwal, has that rid you of all the kind of like demons of those close matches that you lost at the start of this competition? But Kings 11 have actually played some really good cricket in this tournament, and it's about time they started getting over the line, because they have become known as a team that can lose from any situation, and they nearly did that today again.
Yeah, they did, and I think like throughout the competition, that has been the thing, hasn't it? Like their confidence got knocked early on, and then they've just not been able to get over the line. But these last two, they've just hung on and fought and battled and worked as a team, which is all the things I've kind of just willed them to do from my living room. And just for it to happen, it's fun. Yeah, I feel great. Really, really chuffed.
Well, let's go back to the start of today, which seems like an awful long time ago now, when KKR made 163 for 5, and the Sunrisers, thanks to David Warner's hitting towards the end of that, he was 47 not out, made 163 for 6. It went into the super over. David Warner lost his wicket very early, and it was actually a very one-sided super over, Naman, in the end, wasn't it? KKR managing to get home quite comfortably in that 6 balls.
Yes, and it was absolutely super bowling over there by Lockie Ferguson. I was so impressed by him bowling after such a long time, and most of the deliveries were sheer pace and totally unplayable, and giving a performance like this today, it was commendable. And yes, they needed KKR this thing. They needed wickets up front. with the new ball, and they got this bowler at the right time. They need to back this team. They need to back this 11 and not make more changes now too often. And yes, they badly need Russell also. I guess for both Punjab also, I saw Maxwell. These teams really need these guys to fire, especially now moving into the business, and they just cannot let this guy uh, bow down, or maybe their shoulders are down. Completely, they are not contributing in any way.
Just looking at the table now after what's been a ridiculous day. Delhi Capitals top of the table on 14 points and then 9 games. All teams have played 9 matches now, so it's nice, a good time to kind of recap the group. Delhi Capitals on 14, Mumbai Indians stay on 12 alongside RCB. KKR up to 10 points now, and there's a 4-point gap now between the 4th place sides and Sunrisers Hyderabad, who have got 6 points. Kings 11 up to 6 points, CSK up to 6 points, and Rajasthan Royals on 6 points. So the table perfectly illustrates, Abhishek, how this tournament is going, doesn't it? Every team is getting some wins on the board. Can you see any of the bottom 4 closing that 4-point gap over the remaining 5 games of this tournament?
Well, I think the top 3 spots are more or less sealed, but I think still, though there is a 4-point gap between the KKR and the next team, I still believe that there is a chance because KKR is still not settled. Today they won in the Super Over. Lockie Ferguson was very instrumental. I believe they have not still went to that level. I still believe either one of at least Rajasthan Royals, who were really good in their last match, they were just like Steve Smith said, they were A-beat. Even Smith got the runs. I think they had an hour par total. They did well. Even Sunrisers Hyderabad, I think today I was a bit unimpressed with how they played with Warner coming at number 4 or something. I believe if Warner had started, they could have won that. I still believe, though there is going to be a Herculean task, but even with that Kings 11 Punjab, with 2 wins on the trot and the amount of confidence that they will get, probably I think their season derailed on the first match only, right? When they needed just 1 run to win from 3 balls against the DC and they lost in the Super Over. I think that confidence booster is something that they will get today, and I think either one of them will at least give a run of the money to the KKR for their final. Still, I believe it's difficult, but I believe that it's not game over at least for the 4th spot.
Bodyline TShirts.com. Browse the finest collection of cricketing t-shirts on the web. Hundreds of original cricket designs for cricket players and fans alike, featuring everyone and everything from Larwood to Leach and Cow Corner to Chin Music at BodylineTshirts.com. And you can get 10% off your first order using the code BADGER at checkout. BodylineTshirts.com. T-shirts for the discerning cricket fan. Claire, we talk about T20 cricket as being potentially very close, as we've seen today. Every single run matters, doesn't it? When you're watching one of these games and you see a drop catch and they go through for the second run, or overthrow, whatever, every single run in these matches counts, doesn't it? Because we've seen every single game over this weekend go to the final ball.
I know there's been quite a lot of those stops on the boundary where, somebody's leapt up, dragged the ball back in from Nicholas Poran. There's been a few today. Those are the ones for me that really, really sort of, they're game changers. They're stopping potential sixes. Sometimes they're managing to get a catch out of it. It's those fine margins that just absolutely, like you say, make the difference. It's mind-blowing stuff. It's not just what's going on in the middle. It's all that stuff in the field. It's, breathtaking. Been so impressed today.
Yeah, totally breathtaking. Mumbai Indians 176 for 6, Kings 11 Punjab 176 for 6. Then it was 5-all in the first Super Over. Mohammad Shami bowled a terrific 6 balls for Kings 11 Punjab to keep them in it at that stage. And then the universe boss just kind of saunters out there, says, what's all this fuss about? Smashes the first ball from Trent Boult for 6. And from there, I know there's still a little bit to do, but that seemed to settle the nerves for Kings 11.
It did, and I think just rewinding a little bit at the end of the Mumbai Indians second Super Over there, at the end of that, the stop again, like I just hinted at, on the boundary to prevent that 6 from Pollard, that was the difference. Because had that gone for a 6, it would have maybe just inched it out of reach. And then, like you say, Chris Gayle, he's just got that, that cool calmness about him. the power, the ability. You know, he's got so much experience. And maybe that's what's been missing the whole competition. You know, if he hadn't have been ill and spent all that time in hospital, who knows what would have happened. And imagine the pressure that he's under. Like, my whole team kind of hinge on him, and he's had to come back like from illness, and he's just stepped up to the mark. I mean, you know, all credit to the guy. Yeah, he can't take a second run, he's going to get run out or whatever. But even I thought in the field today, he was, you know, he was sharp. I know there was like one flip catch that it was miles out of his reach, and I heard the commentators like, oh, you know, sort of ribbing him a bit. But he's, you know, he's looking fit and he's looking sharp, and yeah, he's got the cool head to go with it. I thought it was awesome.
Badgers are furry creatures. 85% of women badgers think bad grooming is a major turn-off. 80% of women badgers think men should trim below the belt. 89% of men think good grooming is essential to their professional success. Don't just dismiss it out of hand. Get on there, manscaped.com. Check out their great range of male grooming accessories. Hygiene, appearance, attractiveness, confidence. Simply go to manscaped.com, quote the discount code BADGER. You get 20% off, you get free shipping, and you get some seriously quality equipment. Manscaped.com. Together we save balls. Now, man, I saw Kieran Pollard after the game today. I know he was on the losing side, but they asked him about how you cope with the pressure, and he said, "Well, that's what we do. That's what we do as sportsmen." But it's different gravy, isn't it? In a super over like that, where every single piece of fielding, every single shot matters, you separate the men from the boys now, man, don't you? You start to see who can really cope with the intense pressure and who can't.
Yes, and also I was a bit surprised with the combination which they sent up front in the first super over, Rohit and de Kock. This says that they were a bit taking it to a bit easy. They did not take seriously Mohammad Shami. They thought that they will be able to do it. But
I'm just going to jump in there, Naman, because I heard the commentators say that as well. And I think that's ridiculous, with all due respect to you. Because have you seen how far Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock can hit that cricket ball? They're good batsmen, but they can also hit boundaries. And I think it's quite disrespectful to two of the finest white ball cricketers in the world to say they shouldn't go out for a super over. They're two fantastic players.
Absolutely, James. But I only felt that it was not right by seeing the first shot attempted by de Kock. They play superb cricket. He's in good form. Why attempt such reverse sweeps and just mess it again? I know, and also Pollard was in good form. He finished the game, and you need maybe a contrasting players during super over, especially. Maybe de Kock at one end and Pollard or Pandya at one end. But I guess Shami was too good. But I just get a feeling that they took him a bit lightly over there.
I agree with you on the second part of that. I don't agree with you with the personnel, but I agree the way they approached it was maybe slightly wrong. Quinton de Kock is at his very best when he stands tall and just puts those long levers through the ball and hits it long, doesn't he? He doesn't need to play these little deflections in those.
Yes, even with the KL Rahul attempted shot, he attempted reverse sweep. He just thought that match is over. That 1-6 could have made the difference. In the first super over itself, Punjab would have won the game.
Abhishek, we're talking about the super overs and the tactics in the super overs. It's not something that these teams have to do very often, is it? You know, you come to a super over once in a blue moon. Obviously, today we've seen three of them. Yeah, the tactics for a super over aren't something they probably sit down and talk about very often.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even KL Rahul talked about the same, that super over is something that the teams do not prepare for, right? It does not happen very often. And generally what it happens is you generally go with the flow. You generally go with the player who has been hitting the ball well, who has been timing the ball well, and it generally happens. I think some of the teams probably have that idea of a particular player like Bumrah. Like obviously MI do not need to think a second guess about anything when the super over comes. It has to be Bumrah. So yeah, I think it depends on how the innings has gone, and it also depends on who the opposing player is. For example, if like I tell you, one of the biggest reasons that probably Mumbai went with Rohit Sharma and Quinton de Kock is that they knew that from the other side probably the Yorkers will be used, right? And with someone like Shami bowling those Yorkers, there's a good chance that he may castle someone like Pollard. And if On the other hand, they may see that they do not have any prime 140, 145 bowler like somebody is Shami. Then I believe that definitely they would have penciled someone like Pollard. So I think it's not something that they sit about and make a strategy of. It's more of a intuition type of decision based on how the innings has progressed the last 3 hours.
I think you make a very good point there, Abhishek, that it's not just about hitting the boundaries, it's also about keeping your wickets. Because we've seen a few teams in this tournament have gone out there shooting from the hip in the Super Overs, lost 2 wickets and ended up on a total of 2 or 3. And that's going to get you nowhere, is it, in terms of that? Moonrise is a sports engagement website to allow sports fans to learn from the very best. Get a personal video message recorded for a fan's special occasion. Have a professional cricketer as your next coach by getting video feedback or having a 30-minute conversation with some of the world's best players. Players such as Jimmy Neesham, Colin Munro, Tammy Beaumont, Danny Wyatt, Monty Panesar. Visit moonrisesports.com or go to Moonrise Sports on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Moonrise Cricket, let's play. We're going to now turn our attention to the Moonrise moment of the matches today. And I don't even know where to start because we could probably, between us over the next half an hour, think of 50 moments that changed the way we viewed cricket and life and everything in general today. But I'm going to be very unfair now on you and start with you. Give me your Moonrise moment of the matches today.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned plenty to choose over there, plenty of moments, crazy times in today's matches. But since I'm a KKR supporter and I'll go with Lockie Ferguson's performance today. 3 wickets and 3 huge ones, and also in the super over, Bairstow and Warner both bowling, both coming in the super over, both aggressive batsmen and bowling that pitch of a delivery, the sheer pace, and Warner just had no idea about that, and he was clean bowled, sealing the match over there. I was completely bamboozled and very happy for KKR and for Lockie Ferguson, so I'll go with him.
Abhishek, what about you? Your moment of the matches today?
Well, I have to go with my mode. I'll probably say the Lockie Ferguson dismissals of Manish Pandey. I think a 145 plus ball and absolutely top-notch Yorker, and the way it went and even the reaction of Mayank, right? It probably sent a full message down the batting line of SRA that while they are chasing, they probably have to counter for some of the Lockie Ferguson's over. I think that was a moment which shows that even while chasing, even the next balls that were faced by even the likes of Warner, right? They were played with a bit of caution. I think that was an absolutely sensational moment, the way he bowled Manish Pandey. And I believe that was the thing that set up the match.
Very good nomination there from Abhishek. Clare Sanderson, what about you? What would be your moment of the matches?
Oh, well, I mean, I had written down for my moment of the match was going to be that Rohit the catch for Maxi. So I just thought his captaincy there was brilliant. It came and it was a brilliant catch. But now that Kings 11 have won, I think I have to go with the Mayank Agarwal stop on the boundary. Because like I said earlier, if that had gone for a 6, it would have probably put it out of reach. I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, brilliant. So that would be my moment of the match.
I was going to go with Mayank Agarwal's stop on the boundary fence as well. So basically it's Lockie Ferguson 2, Mayank Agarwal 2. They can share it today, but I think ultimately we'll all agree cricket was the winner. So we'll give cricket the Moonrise moment of the matches today. Want to get your game the very best it can be? The future of coaching. Talk to a pro. 30-minute video conversation. Video analysis from players at the top of their game. Video shout-outs. Get a personalised message from a pro. Great for birthdays, congratulations messages, a prank, or a simple hello. Visit moonrisesports.com or go to Moonrise Sports on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Moonrise Cricket, let's play. We have now to look ahead to Monday. If we can get any sleep tonight and we can get up to tomorrow to watch the game between Chennai Super Kings and Rajasthan Royals in Abu Dhabi. And these are two sides that desperately need a win. They were in that gaggle on 6 points at the wrong end of the table. I'll start with you, Abhishek, because you're our Rajasthan Royals man. How do you see this one? Chennai Super Kings are very hit and miss at the moment, aren't they? Rajasthan, though, equally so.
Yeah, I believe that it's going to be a close game. The Chennai Super Kings, though they have lost a few games, but they're still a very good side, especially with Jadeja finding his form. He's becoming really clinical, both with the ball and the bat. So it's not going to be some cakewalk, but I still believe the last game that has happened, right? It's very, very important that Steve Smith was able to find his own form. Still, I also believe another positive was that Uthappa was finally given his slot of the order. It's the place where he has been batting all his life, and his best career moments, be it with RCB or be it with KKR, has come there. I believe that is more or less lesser. I still believe that Butler should open with Uthappa. I think still a bit of thinking must be needed there. But all in all, I think the last game was a good performance. Smith coming into the stride. Even Jaidev Unadkat was very good in his 2 overs. Unfortunately, he went a few runs for the AB, but it can happen to all the bowlers, right? It has happened to some great bowlers like Dale Steyn, right? So it's going to be one of moment. But I still believe I'm fairly confident that with Steve Smith coming to his stride, and Rajasthan Royals will probably start with tomorrow to make that mad dash towards the end that we talked about earlier in the podcast.
There's going to be a twist in this IPL, isn't there? The top four are not going to stay as the top four because there's 4 points. If one of those teams in the bottom end of the table can get on a run, they're going to take points away from the teams at the top as well. So that narrows the gap just by virtue of the fact they start winning games. So it's going to be really interesting, I think, over the last 5 games for each of these sides. Now, man, CSK, I'm going to make you our CSK fan just for a few seconds tonight. MSD's got a major job on his hands, hasn't he, with them? Because even now they're starting to play a little bit better, they're still losing.
Very much, James. You are absolutely right over there. I guess I feel that he is failing to read the pitch. Sometimes the pitches are behaving slowly. Sometimes the pitches are getting better in the second innings. Sometimes there is dew. I guess the Dhoni is failing to read pitches over there. They are failing with the right team combination, whether to play Tahir or whether to continue with Bravo, because they have very much all arms and ammunitions in their team over there. Left arm fast bowlers, the leg spinners, the off spinners, and I'm also surprised that Dhoni has not even used Kedar Jadhav with off spinners with so many left-handers batting over there. So yes, they have plenty to think over there, but I know you won't agree, but I still will go with Sam Curran opening because he has nothing much to do in the lower order. They have enough batsmen over there, but once I feel he hits good cricket shots. It's not just backing all over the ground with closed eyes. He plays proper cricket shots. But yes, good to see du Plessis coming back in form in the last match. But I mentioned in the last podcast as well, they need Tahir as soon as possible, just like Gale came. And momentum is now with Punjab. Similarly, they need Tahir. If not now, then I feel it will be too late.
Yeah, I don't know what Imran Tahir said to MS Dhoni that's upset him, but he's... he should be in that side. And to me, he should have been in that side from the very, very start of this tournament because he's a class act. Claire, let's leave the last word on the CSK Rajasthan Royals match to you. You've heard the arguments from both sides. How do you see this game in Abu Dhabi going tomorrow?
Gosh, well, it's a tricky one. I mean, is Bravo injured? Does that then open it up for Tahir to come in? And if it does, will that be the difference? I don't know.
Well, I asked you a question and you've answered it with 3, I think. So.
Well, yeah, I have to say, I just think it's wide open. I mean, both teams have had really strong performances and also a bit ropey. You know, neither of them got the momentum with them. And I just think it's a wide open match. It'll be a good one to watch to see, you know, who can pull it through. A battle of the captains. I don't know. Really, really interesting match to watch, and a bit of a neutral for me, which is what I need after a day like today.
In all honesty, though,
I still haven't answered your question.
No, you haven't. And to be honest, it's one of those tournaments, isn't it? You know, you get asked the question who's going to win this game. I would have pointed everybody towards Mumbai Indians today to beat Kings 11, and it didn't happen. And it's one of those tournaments. Everybody can beat everybody. It's so close, and like we said before, every single run matters. And I can't call CSK against Rajasthan Royals tomorrow because you look down the list of the players that are playing for the 2 respective sides. There's some match winners on both sides, but there's also plenty of flaws on both sides. And it's going to be really fascinating to see how the rest of this IPL goes, because if it gets any more exciting than it's got already, then I don't know if I can cope with it. It's just going to get it's going to be too much, isn't it? I think we've turned up the volume up to max at the moment, and hopefully it stays there for as long as possible. Claire, Naman, Abhishek, thank you very, very much indeed for being on the show today.
Cheers, James. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you, everybody out there, for listening. Thank you for tuning in. It's the IPL Daily, so we'll be back with you again tomorrow with more exciting cricket. I've started off these podcasts by trying to keep them to 20 minutes, and it's just been impossible this weekend because there's just been so much to talk about. I'll leave you with some words of a great man, Mayank Agarwal. And I noted this down at the end. He said, "This is sport. It can get hard, but you definitely cannot live without it." Hear, hear, Mayank. See you tomorrow.
Thanks for listening. Join us every day throughout IPL 2020. Follow us on Twitter at cricket_badger. Join in the fun. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Get a credit card that gives you what you need now. A low interest rate on everyday purchases and a place to transfer high interest rate balances. The PenFed Gold Contactless Card is our lowest rate credit card. You can even earn a $100 statement credit when you spend $1,500 in the first 90 days. Join PenFed, and together we can help you keep more of what's yours. Visit penfed.org/goldcard. To receive any advertised product, you must become a member of PenFed, insured by NCUA.